Yo, 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 yo. What up, everybody? Shoot, damn. Welcome to another episode of the Best Cheapest Podcast. Sorry if it sounds a little bit more echoey in here. We're making some changes, so yeah. This episode, two things. We're gonna recap pretty much the previous 10 episodes we've had and kind of make a self evaluation. And also, for those of you who don't know, it's not just me doing everything and stuff. My little brother Isaac, he's the producer and editor and all that stuff. So he's been sitting obviously through this whole thing with me. So it was only proper for him to be on this recap self-evaluation episode. And then also for, there's a face behind, I guess, the person handling all this shit. So, yeah. What do you think? What do you think of all this shit we've done so far?
I don't even know. It was unexpected, I guess. I mean, I've heard you talk about it before with like a couple of your friends, but I just never thought that you would actually step up and do it until you told me, oh, I got mics and you want to work. You want to not work, but you want to help me out. And I was like, what? Like, you're actually taking this serious? And I was like, yeah, I mean, why not? It's a new experience for me and experience for you. We can go through it together. So I was like, hell yeah, like, that'll be dope. Something different. Something that, I mean, I wasn't expected, like I said, and I don't know. You just learn so much after every episode we've been doing. So it's dope. I like it.
What do you think about? What I kind of wanted to do was go through each episode and kind of talk about each episode and what we liked and what we didn't like, or just whatever we have to say about it. But just what do you think? I think I'm gonna go through mine, like my whole. Like the whole thing, my whole all 10 episode evaluation at the end. But what do you think? How do you feel about before episode 1 to now?
Before episode 1, it was just more like, just hook up the mics and just talk and connect the camera and just talk. And I thought it was gonna be that easy and just doing that, but then after so many takes that we did for episode 1, I realized that it was much more than just connect microphone, connect the mic, and just start talking and press record. I thought it was going to be that simple, but heck, like, you need way more equipment. You need more time to actually get everything set up on the computer, everything going, making sure everything is synced. Like, it just takes way more time than just connecting a microphone and a camera. And now, I mean, we've been doing this for 10 episodes now, and I just thought, like, well, now it's just easy for me. It's just, I already done this once. Just connect, make sure the microphones are synced on the computer, make sure the camera has tape for the camera we're using, and just go on from that. But yeah, it became easier, a lot easier, and a lot faster for me to just get everything ready for whenever you're ready.
Yeah, well, episode 1, I mean, he touched on it a little bit. We recorded that episode maybe 5 times. It was just like, it was a lot of trying to be natural, we shot, like, I think we shot 3 times in the same day, and it was too forced. It just wasn't it. It was, as much as we wanted to be natural and wanted to be organic, it wasn't it. It was, it was just hard. It was hard to get that right vibe, to get the right energy, to get the right topics and the right words out. So when we finally did, I mean, it took us like maybe 2 weeks to get that first episode out from starting to film that first episode, the first take, to actually having the finished thing. It was like at least 2 weeks. But yeah, it was hard, but and then moving right on to episode 2, that episode was more like a clip of trying to set a foundation, like trying to set, all right, what this is going to be about, or what this is going to be about. And I thought it'd be longer, but it was like 15-20 minutes or something. It was real short.
Super short.
But that was all kind of that was my first one doing all by myself, so it was hard because I tried to have a topic, and the topic was essentially there really isn't going to be a topic for the podcast as a whole. It's just going to be about every different person who comes in with a different story. So that's what the topic is going to be about of the podcast. The podcast isn't going to be about sports and only sports, or books and only books, or somebody's certain view on things. And it's going to be about a bunch of stuff. It's going to be about conversations in general, and getting ideas out, and trying to concede ideas and trade ideas. So, and then, we're going to move pretty quickly through these, but episode 3, I think, that's the one I had. I kind of introduced Penny, my girlfriend, to the podcast and to the viewers. And I thought it was important because just like I'm now introducing Isaac, my little brother, the producer, the editor, because he's obviously part of my life and part of this whole thing. So is she. So in order, like whenever I speak of somebody, whether it's him or whether it's my girl, there is context to the people who have been following from the jump. There's like, oh, I know who he's talking about. It's not just this fictional character who I don't even know. And I kind of wanted that because I wanted there to be like a community, you know what I mean? Like a group of homies, and each other. Like, you don't just speak in a broad spectrum. You're very, when I speak of somebody or of a certain situation, then you know who those people are, what they do, and all that stuff. So I thought that was a little necessary. And then also she kind of pushed me also to get this thing going. So just like Robert pushed, she was very important to get this going.
I feel like after episode 3, that's when it got more natural for you. I feel like once you did those 3 episodes, from 4 on, it became like just any regular episode. Because episode 2, where you were by yourself, it felt a little like awkward for a little. You had a lot of like just dead air space. But then 3 was probably a little bit awkward also, because since you had your lady, you didn't know how to like talk to her. I felt like you wanted to call her like, oh babe, oh this, oh that. You're like, oh no, I have to call her Penny, or no, I can't refer to her like, oh babe, or whatever. So I felt like after episode 3, from 4 on, it was just
well, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of like figuring the right words, because I can't. You talk different with different people, and to put things out into the world, really, you can't just go crazy and you got to kind of filter some things out, and that was part of the whole thing of finding the way of how to speak to everybody, because everybody's different. And then episode 4, we had my boy Jesse. He I think that one was pretty cool. That was like my first actual conversation. Not to say that Penny's or Robert's weren't one, but those were kind of like the supporting ones, like the ones I needed to take off. Like in order for like episode 4 to happen, I needed to have a conversation with Robert as a practice take, I guess, if you will, like as a foundation take, and then also with Penny, because those are the two people I'm very, very comfortable with. So I knew that those were like crucial. And then when Jesse came, him and I always have just conversations about like what's going on in the world, or we always have these ideas of bettering ourselves and like businesses, or just investing in this or doing that. So I thought it'd be a cool conversation and a cool, easy conversation to have, because we have those type of conversations anyways. Whenever we see each other, I mean, it always ends up to be, you know, a quick what's up ends up like a cool hour and a half. So I thought that one was very, like, the first actual like outside guest, if you will, come in and just have a smooth conversation.
And you guys could have gone on for hours with Jesse.
Yeah.
Because even after you were walking him out, you guys stayed out there for like another hour and a half just talking. I was like, well, you guys should just done that on the podcast.
Yeah, but again, it's the same thing. We were talking about very specific things, and you don't want to put people out there or put situations out there that, you know, you don't want to put out there, you know. And then, of course, the one after that was Julio, episode 5. That one was probably the easiest one I've done.
Yeah, it felt like it.
We were just bullshit, you know. And in a way, we edited a little more than the other 4, but in a way, it was like a testament to just how, like, we had so much content, and even then, we had a long podcast. I think that one was like an hour and a half or something. Yeah. So and we edited not a whole bunch, but, you know, some words here and there slipped. In like a couple minutes here, we edited, but that was like the easiest. Like, I mean, because him and I, we fucking, like we said, we've known each other for 15 plus years, and it's just been fucking just easy. And it's always bullshit, and it's always just, I mean, whether we talk about sports and fights or whatever it is, it's just all bullshit. So that one was dope.
And that's just Julio, like, in general.
Yeah.
Like, no matter who he meets or who he's talking to, he just gets along with that person. So dope. That's just his vibe. That's what I like about him. He's just so chill. Yeah,
and he was all, I mean, I'm sure he's not gonna mind me putting him out there, but he was pretty nervous coming on, and a little bit hesitant, because he was like, "Yo, I'm not fucking interesting. I'm not this. I'm not that." I'm like, "Yo, just shut the fuck up. Come through. Trust me, it'll be fun, and it'll be easy, and, you know, it's hard. I mean, I'm not saying like I'm a pro, because I'm definitely not. I'm still like in the beginning stages, but it's becoming a tiny bit more natural to have a light on, have the camera rolling, have headphones and the microphone in front of you. But I could understand, especially the people, obviously, who I hang out with and stuff, don't do this type of stuff. So, but yeah, he was, once he, like, after like the first 20 minutes, it was just, you know, the gates were just wide fucking open, and we were just straight bullshitting and just whatever. And then episode 6 was Penny again. And that one, man, the first one with her, we talked about like our recent trip and like the early Corona stuff, while we were out in Waco and all that. And then the second one, it was more a view and a look into how her and I met, and how her and I are with each other. Again, it was about the people, like, taking a look into a little bit of my life, and more so it was vulnerability, because I think it's important to be a little vulnerable as a person, and especially as a man, because it's important to grow. It's important to let somebody else in any way be vulnerable. You know, in this case, it was being open and vulnerable into our life, into having other people view how our life is a little bit. And that was we had to be very vulnerable and put ourselves out there. Because as everybody who knows me knows that I'm pretty to myself with personal stuff. I don't really share too many personal stuff, but I thought it was important in order for me to grow as a podcaster and as a person, and also for people to take a view of, you know, like I keep on reiterating, into how her and I are.
That one was weird. I wasn't expecting that one.
What?
I don't know. I just thought you guys were just gonna come up and just talk about like whatever. But then once I heard you like start bringing that up, I was like, what? He's actually gonna like talk about all that? Cause like how you said you are, like you just keep everything to yourself. You're not really open. I just wasn't expecting you to say everything you said and like you guys talk about all that. I was like, what? Like it's pretty dope that you actually like that you're opening up. But I just wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, I mean, her and I talked about it obviously, and she was obviously with it. So, but yeah, I think it's important to be vulnerable. I don't know. This whole podcasting thing is weird in the sense of you have to build a relationship with the people. So in order to build any relationship, we have to be vulnerable. You know, and then episodes 7 and 8. I gotta go pee. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, 7 and 8. I've been drinking a gallon a day, so sorry about that. Episodes 7 and 8, there were solos, and I think that first one, or that episode 7. Let's see. Yeah, that one was. Yeah, I was trying to remember because I jotted notes down for each and every one, and just so you know, I know what it was. That one I'm not 100% sure what I spoke on, but I know that that one was the first actual one that I had, because that second one was, I tried to have a conversation with the people, the audience, but it was, I don't know, I messed up and took it more so as a clip, not as a whole episode. So that first one, I think that one was more like 35-40 minutes.
Yeah.
And that one was like the first one after having guests where I sat down by myself and just talked. I think, what did I talk about? Might have been the corona a little bit. I mean, I don't remember, but that was the first one that I felt cool. Episode 8 was way better. I mean, that one I talked about. I was more prepared with topics. I had, MMA to talk about. I had a trip I had just came from. So I had more stuff to talk about. I guess the first one I could have talked about other stuff too and just had like a topic I was going to talk about that day. But episode 7, I wanted to be more current with the things going on, which weren't many. And then 8, there was more stuff going on.
Those were hard, I feel like, to record. Because since it was like pretty much like the peak of the virus, there wasn't anything going on, literally, like nothing.
Yeah.
So I feel like those were just episodes that we put out to be consistent. Because I feel like if we wanted to, we could have took those 2 like weeks off just so we won't put like those. I mean, they were good episodes, don't get me wrong, but yeah. I feel like it could have been better. But since the whole virus, it was at its peak, there was literally nothing to talk about, no one to bring on or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I didn't want to, I'm sure I talked about it, but if I did, it was very minimal, and I didn't, everybody and everything and everywhere, that's all you see. So I didn't want to just be another one in the pile. I wanted to try to bring up different ideas and different subjects to the time because, I mean, I'm not a reliable source to news or anything, so you could get that elsewhere. But eight felt way better. It felt way better. It was more, again, like I said, I had more topics. The fights had just happened. Some fights were coming up. I think that was like half of the podcast, just me talking about fights. And then the first half was like, I think maybe a little bit of the Corona, but then
the trip
to the Colorado that we had. So that one was a little bit better. And that's when I really felt, episode 8 was when I really felt like, okay, this is how we're doing it, you know?
Yeah, because you had things to talk about. Like 7, you didn't have nothing to talk about. But 8, like you said, you had the trip, you had fights, you had the virus was, still there, but it wasn't as impactful as it was earlier.
Yeah, and but what I was saying, like, this is, because most of the time, we're not going to be having guests every time in here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just, that was like, okay, this is how we're going to do it, like this. Because, I don't know, 60-70% of the time it's just going to be me. Yeah. And then the other percentage is just going to be people coming in. So if I could keep that energy like on 8, it'd be good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you will, because there's things happening now. Fights are happening every week. Things are opening up finally, so I'm pretty sure you're gonna have more stuff to talk about when you're here alone.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that one was like, that one kind of kept the energy of the other ones that were doing good, and then it was just about trying to find myself, how to direct the conversation and how to have a conversation by myself, and all that. So I think 8 was good. 9 though, that one was weird, because that's the one we did with Julio. We're watching the fights and stuff. That one, I mean, I guess you could say, I try to have like a little fight companion like Joe Rogan does. I thought it'd be fun, but nah, maybe change some things up a little bit, but that one was off. I felt like
maybe I don't know. I think like the fights were off. That's why the fights weren't as interesting as people were anticipating them to be. They were pretty not as good as.
Yeah, and then also I think I started recording like at the prelims, so there's fucking 10 fights to go through, and it's too long of a time. Like that's like fucking 3+ hours, almost 4 hours. Of fights. I mean, that's a lot of shit for just him and I. One, to just pay attention to the fights. It's only him and I. So if him and I are just looking at watching the fights and commentating on them, it's not as entertaining, or we missed the ballpark with that one, and it's really my fault. I mean, nobody else. And then we did try to lively it up a little bit. There was little spurts of bullshit here and there. But I think the fights being the main, I guess, attraction, if you will, to that episode, like, kind of messed it up.
But, I mean, it was good because you got to experience, like...
Yeah.
And now that you did that one, you can just, like, take back from what you didn't like and maybe upgrade a little bit or do something better about it. Maybe add another person, not just you two. Yeah. Maybe 2 or 3 or something like that. Get, like, a good group of friends. I mean, because it was dope. I like that idea. Like, that was like super dope, having that, like, the fight literally happening right in front of you and you guys just talking about it. Like, that was dope. But yeah, I think there's things you can do to make it better.
I mean, we're gonna be moving to another place, and we could have a TV set up. Like, it's gonna be a little better. It's gonna be more like studio-esque, I guess, if you will. So it's it'll be good. It'll be better. I mean, if we do end up doing that, it'll be a better setup for that. And then we'll have a bigger table, more chairs, more mics, more headphones in case, if somebody else wants to join, or we could get more people in, because the more people we have bullshitting, the better. I mean, I don't know if I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'll just I feel kind of weird because I always wanted to do it. Because I mean, when I wanted to do a podcast, I had an idea of doing what Joe Rogan does now as a fight companion, right? And then Joe Rogan started doing them, and then I was like, man, now if not to say that I was first or whatever, like I'm not everybody, nobody can have an original idea, but he's the original and he's like the podcast GOAT, you know what I mean? So, and obviously his place in the MMA world is up there as well. So I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying that I had an idea, and then obviously I'm biting Joe Rogan's idea, so it kind of sucks. But we'll see. We'll see what we do with that. Maybe we just have regular podcasts and have those happen in the back, and not really call them fight companions. I don't know. We'll see.
Or just get someone who doesn't really know much about like UFC or fighters in general, like how you and Julio do, so that he can be like, oh, what's his specialty, or where's he from, or what camp is he from, so he can like pretty much keep you guys conversating about the fighters in general. Yeah. Since you guys know like literally everything about them, if you get someone like that, you'll be like, oh yeah, like he's from here. He fought versus this guy, and that's how he got his name, or things like that. I feel like that would maybe helpful. It'd be helpful when you guys keep a conversation. Yeah.
That's a good idea. I mean, again, the more people,
the better.
The more conversations. So we'll see. And then that last one, episode 10, it felt better. We talked. I kind of wanted to talk about this the first time it came, but obviously it was the first episode and kind of wanted to set the stage. But that one was way better. We didn't have to shoot 5 times.
That was Robert, by the way. You didn't say who.
Oh, yeah, that was Robert. That last one. We didn't have to shoot 5 times like we did the first one. I mean, and then granted, that first one was because it was the first one, so we wanted it to start off on the right foot. But yeah, that one was much better. That one was a really long one, but we decided to kind of consolidate it because we were gonna do this, and that one it kind of tapped into what we're talking about now, and so I had to consolidate it and only put out like the stuff that it was more Robert oriented, which was the relationships. And I felt like, again, they've all been getting a little better, especially, obviously the different person is a different vibe, and it's a whole new thing, especially now. I mean, right now, obviously, because we're brand new, but it's almost like you're starting over with every person that comes in. The ones with by myself, like every day, I feel, or every episode is going to get better, a little better. But it's starting to get almost, a tiny bit natural to having a guest in and talking to them and finding a way to direct the conversation and get them through, because it's not easy. But luckily I had like Robert, he came twice. Penny, she's been here twice, and then Julio's been here twice. So that's just 6 episodes right there. And then obviously my boy Jesse, who I'm super comfortable with and chill with. So obviously these people have been people who I obviously talk to almost on a daily basis. So they've been a big part of the growth, you know what I mean? So and to that, what I'm saying is they've only gotten better because of who they are, like how close we are.
And since they did it one time, the second time they come in, they already know what to expect. They already know how it feels. So it's like, oh, like, okay, I did this one time, it's easy the second time. I can just keep doing whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, I think I've gotten better. We've gotten better. Like, you've gotten better with the editing and the prepping and the fucking all that stuff. We're always going to be learning. We're never going to stop. Fucking, oh, damn. We could have done this, or oh damn, whatever. But it just the really tricky part for me is finding the right ideas in my head and then matching them with the words and then actually saying them almost simultaneously, because it's one thing to just bullshit with your homies or outside or whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But once you're trying to project something or trying to have an actual idea come across the way you want it, that's fucking hard.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just hard. Like you don't want to just talk a bunch of shit and not get anything out. You know what I mean? Well, if you're trying to convey an idea, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard to have the right idea, have the right words, and then speak them correctly.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy at all. It's a lot of watching what you say. It's just a whole bunch of shit. But that's why I wanted to make it consistent, because it's like exercising. You get those reps in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You get those reps in, and you get that comfortableness in, or whatever, that comfort. And then it'll start coming in easier and easier. I don't know. It's just another thing I want to talk about. Sorry, I was kind of reading my notes. It wasn't. I think I touched about it on a clip I posted, but I was kind of. I've been getting messages on like the podcast as a whole, and really I wanted to keep it as the name states. The name is the best, cheapest, right? The best, cheapest podcast. So I kind of wanted to keep that simplistic, or that simplicity all throughout the brand, I guess, if you will. If you guys see the logo is just BCP in like a regular bold font, but it's not a regular Arial font. It's still kind of a little unique to us, and you know, it just kind of, I wanted it red because it pays like a little bit of an homage to the recording button. The recording button being on a VHS tape recording camera, and then I want it on the camera or a VHS because it kind of all ties into the best, cheapest. You know, it's professional, but really it's outdated. You know what I mean? But I still like that feel, this feel of old school, this feel of that graininess, that little not too quality, I guess. I dig that, you know, and yeah, I feel like it all kind of ties into who or what the podcast is. You know what I mean? It's unique, it's different, it's its own thing, but we're just trying to do with what we have.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was gonna say it's unique because like even big podcasts like Chris D'Elia's, Theo Vaughn's, and all those, they're all different in their own ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're so big. You know, they all have their own. Obviously, they're all different personalities and stuff. But yeah, like us having the VHS thing and everything, like that's, I've never seen that before, especially now in 2020, where the technology is like, oh, you have to buy the $3,000 camera and buy the $500 mics and $100 headphones. Like, what? You don't really need all that. You just need a VHS camcorder that you found in your garage or something.
Yeah, and then it adds to the feel. You know, it adds to the feel, and I don't know. I mean, I think eventually one day we will switch over, or I don't know.
I feel like we won't switch over until we really have to, until we can't find no more VHS tapes to buy. Or
because even Amazon, you don't get the VHSs. You don't get them from a store. Like you get them from like a mom and pop shop.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go to we don't go to Best Buy and get them. We don't go to. I mean, I don't know, any of the fucking like Walmart or anything. You know, we go to Amazon or a mom and pop shop, and whatever they have, we grab. You know, so yeah, I mean, and it's all part of the whole thing. I think it makes like you said, it makes the podcast stand out. It makes it its own thing, you know. So, and then on the same thing, talking about the podcast itself right now. I'm not too worried. We're not too worried about the numbers. You know what I mean? We're just trying to, like I said, we're trying to get the reps up. We're trying to get those muscles, I guess, showing, and then we start concentrating on the marketing, the getting followers, the getting viewers, the getting this, the getting that. I mean, we've had people share it, and we've had people, tell a friend and shit. Like we've had people reach out to us and tell us like, yo, I've told X, I've told Y, to check you guys out, and we've gotten feedback on it from different people. So, and I mean, we really fucking appreciate that shit, but like the main focus, if people come in, they come in organically, and that's good, that's the shit. But it's not really, we're not really trying to push it to where it's like, we want numbers. Like right now, like I don't even know how many views the videos, the podcasts we've put out have. Like I don't know how many views, how many likes, none of that. Whether it be YouTube or Instagram, I don't know those numbers because, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It just that's not. It's important to get the podcast out to the people who care. Like to the people who are organically in tune with the podcast itself, whether it be by way of my followers, by way of your followers, or just by way of the people following already. That's cool. That's dope. That's important for me right now, and concentrating on that small group, and kind of not catering to them necessarily, but letting them know like, yo, we know you guys know. So here's more fucking podcast every Tuesday, and then once I feel like, we got the production down, we got, my muscles, my conversation muscles, my thinking muscles, my talking muscles, they're cool, then I know that's gonna kind of coast in the upward trajectory, and then we work on the marketing, because now what's coming out with the marketing is going to be, or the branding or the push is going to be good shit. It's not just going to be mediocre shit with mediocre marketing. It's going to be good shit with, it's going to make the marketing good. It's not just going to be whack clips or whack this or whack that. It's going to be cool shit, cool branding, cool this, cool that. You know what I mean? So, but overall, I think it's been good. I think it's been, like I said earlier, it's all been a learning experience.
We got good fast. Like we got better fast from episode 1 to now.
Yeah.
Like if you really think about it, it's like you can see like your progress of talking and everything. Like you got comfortable with it super quick. And maybe it is because of the people who have came on, but even like the solo ones, like you said, like you just got used to just talking and having a light point at you and a camera. It's cool because it makes like everyone else around you lives easier. Like makes the guest feel more comfortable. Feels me doing the editing, everything makes my process quicker, and it just does. I don't know. Like just I feel like everything just focuses on you, and as you are getting better and better, we're all getting better around you.
Yeah. No, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I take compliments very hard, but I mean, I guess thank you. But I don't know. I've always wanted to do it. I've always wanted to do this. And then I've always listened to fucking podcasts for at least 5 years now. I've been listening to podcasts. So I'm a very visual learner. So I'm like, okay, it's just about doing this shit now. Because you kind of know what the fuck goes on. You kind of know just the basics. Don't pause too long because then that shit will get awkward. Yeah. Have shit to talk about. I mean, that goes hand in hand. But bring in people who can or have substance. You know what I mean? Whether they're a low talker or whether they're a high talker, but they have substance. Yeah. You know what I mean? Put the production and all that shit in the hands of somebody who's willing and able to do that shit. You know what I mean? It's all. It's kind of all. I don't know. Not easy, but it's all kind of a little obvious after you watch enough podcasting. You kind of know what's up, and the rest is just breaking that shell and getting yourself out there and doing it and reps and reps and reps and reps. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just think it's been, obviously progress every episode, and our like editing routine or whatever has gotten easier. I don't know. Everything's just been getting a little bit better and better and better, and I just think we just gotta stay on it. You know what I mean? And the more we do this, the less editing I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The less editing you have to do, and that means like you'll know like, oh shit, whatever. I know that's not gonna be good. You know what I mean? So, and then the more we do it, the more I know what not to do so that you don't have to edit later. That way it's just like record, upload, and then post.
Yeah.
It's not record, edit. Oh shit, re-edit,
Yeah.
upload, and then post. You know what I mean? It's just upload, put the name, put the music,
Mm-hmm.
upload. That's the editing, and then upload, and then post. And it's not gonna be like we do now, where we have to sit. The whole process. I mean, for those of you who don't know, the whole process can take, like, from shooting the podcast. Let's say the podcast is an hour long. You shoot that, and then Isaac has to do his thing and put everything together. Turn the VHS to digital, sync the digital audio or the video with the audio. Once that's ready, I come in, sit through everything, see what I want, see what I don't want. Then he comes in, reviews that, edits that. Then he may have some insight, and then puts everything together. Then I go and be like, go through it again. It just fucking, because we're brand new. We're that's just the process, and it'll take, I don't know, a total of, from shooting it to posting it, it could take like fucking 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. But the more we do this, the less editing. It'll cut down the time, and you know what I mean, and that stuff will only get better. So, but I don't know. I think we've been doing good, and we've been getting better. Again, I don't know what the numbers are, and I'm not right now too interested in pushing it. I do have very much more like subject focused episodes coming up, so I think maybe those, because they are like specific, might get more views or might get more attention. If they do, then dope, organically, but I don't know. I just think that obviously we're gonna get better. We're gonna have every episode, boom, every Tuesday.
And not only will we get better, but like the world is getting better. The virus is clearing up. Everything is opening up. So we're gonna have more stuff to talk about. Not just the virus and this and that. Like now, I went this week, and I went this. We did this. This is this, and whoever comes in and be like, I also did this, and then you guys can start talking about that. So it's like everything will just start getting better from here on out. Because like I said, everything's opening up again. Yeah. The malls open. The beaches are opening. So more things to talk about. Not just how's your quarantine going? I'm just staying home, doing whatever. Like now, like I went here.
Yeah, and then more people are gonna be willing to come.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, I think we touched on everything. We kind of flew by the episodes a little bit, but I think, like I said, just to finish it off, we've been doing good. We've been learning. We've been getting better, and I mean, like I said in the beginning. Those of you who don't know, this is Isaac, my little brother, the producer, the editor. He makes everything happen. I just come here and talk, and he makes sure shit gets done properly. So, thank you. Thank you for putting in the work. And, we're just going to continue doing this shit. So, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for the ones who've reached out and asked me what's up. Thank you guys, and for the comments, for the critiques, for everything. Much love to you guys. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys. And yeah, now you guys know, along with Robert, because he's been helping with the branding and all that stuff, the face of the Best Cheapest podcast, Isaac. Of course, Robert, he helps with the stuff too, and me. So thank you guys. I mean, I guess I hope you guys like this little recap and self-evaluation. Again, I think this kind of served to be vulnerable and all that stuff to what we talked about in the previous episodes. And yeah, so thank you guys. Much love. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, hit that like, that share, that comment, that post, that repost, all that stuff. Much love. Peace.